Good morning, community. Good morning, community. Okay, so I had another quick download, and I debate about coming on to share them with you, but I'm gonna go ahead real quick and share again today. So, this is the thing that I want you to remember, Queen. This is the thing that I want you to remember, sis. Your stuff has always been enough. Like that's what I've been telling myself lately, and you can confirm that with me by putting that right down in the comments. My stuff has always been enough. Now, look, this is what Peter said in John chapter 6. Not Peter, Andrew, Peter's brother. This is what Andrew said. When Jesus was getting ready to feed the 5,000 and people were looking for some food for the people, right? They were all saying how there wasn't enough stuff and they couldn't find enough food. And so Andrew comes across the little boy. He comes across the little boy who has 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. And he's bringing the boy to Jesus. And what he says about the boy's contribution, he says he has 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, but it ain't no way that's going to be enough for all of the people. Again, your stuff has always been enough. So Andrew makes that assessment of what the little boy has to offer. He says he only has 2 fish and 5 loaves, and ain't no way it's going to be enough. But look, round about verse number 11, it says Jesus took the stuff, them same 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and he made it be enough, not only for the crowd, but as most of us know, for them to even have some stuff left over. So this is all I'm trying to remind us of today, Queen. Our stuff has always been enough. Sometimes we've just put it in the wrong hands. See, Andrew was not the right person to take the gifts of the little boy, the contribution of the little boy, and maximize it and make it bigger and make it abundant and make it more than enough. Jesus was the one who took the same gifts, the same 2 fish and 5 loaves, and multiplied it to the point that it was not just enough for the crowd, but it was abundantly above what was needed. See, it's very critical who we put our gifts and our talents, our heart, our efforts into the hands of. So I'm saying this to you, and I hope you understand me. My stuff has always been enough. Your stuff has always been enough. The mistake, queens, sometimes we have made is we have put that stuff in the wrong hands. We've put our heart in the wrong hands. We've put our self-esteem in the wrong hands. We've put our value in the wrong hands. We've put our skill sets in the wrong hands. We've put our talents in the wrong hands. We've put our ministries in the wrong hands. We've put our belief in ourselves in the wrong hands. But this is the good news about that passage. Jesus takes it. So I've been telling Jesus, take my stuff. Everything that I have put in the hands of another person, everything that I have sought after in other people for validation and affirmation, take my stuff. I yield my stuff to your hands. My stuff has always been enough. But I, Gina, I own that sometimes I have put my stuff in the wrong hands. Imagine that. Had the 2 loaves and the 2 loaves and I mean the 2 fish and the 5 loaves stayed in the hands of Andrew, them folk would still be hungry. Because when Andrew looked at what the little boy had to offer, he said it wasn't enough. He did not see how it could contribute. Thank Jesus that Jesus came along and took the boy's stuff and multiplied it and allowed it to be everything that it was supposed to be. Not only was it enough, it was more than enough. So on today, I think the reason why that's resonating so with me as we're ending this first quarter of the year and really thinking about what are we going to do with our next 9 months and how do we matriculate and guide and reassess our lives, many of us perhaps can count ourselves out and count ourselves short because we allow the assessments of someone else to ring loudly in our heads. But I encourage you, sister, I encourage you, queen, to take your stuff and to put it in the right hands, and in the right hands is Jesus. He is more, he's able to make what you offer more than enough. Believe this, your skin tone was always enough. The size of your hips was always enough. Your eyes was always enough. Your height was always enough. Your stature petite was always enough. Your skill sets were always enough. Your talents, they were always enough. And whether a bad relationship, whether a bad church experience, whether a bad boss experience, whether a poor job experience could not see that and appreciate that, does not make you less than. Say it with me again. My stuff, it was always enough. And as you go throughout this week, as you go throughout this month, just wrapping up this first quarter and thinking about what you want to do in the future, don't discredit yourself based on someone else's inability to appreciate what you bring to the table. Just take your stuff to the right table, all right? All right? Take your stuff to Jesus. That's what all of us are going to do, okay? So y'all know I got to go. Y'all know I told y'all I got a situation. And I'm going to tell you more about that growth journey as well. But I love you, Queens, and I'm rooting for you. And as God gives me downloads, I'm just sharing what He gave to me to you, hoping that you too remember that your stuff was always enough. I honor the greatness in you. Y'all be well, okay? Talk to you soon.